pod. My name is John, and I'm with my co-hosts Pauline Wong and Eugene Kim.
Hey.
Oh, hi everyone.
Hi.
So for today's episode, we are just gonna talk about Pauline. Everything about Pauline. Okay.
Yay.
So leave
So
now if you don't want to hear me.
no, everybody wants to hear from Pauline. Okay, first I wanna start. What is your first memory of holding a camera?
Well, my dad has always taken photos. So at my parents' house, there's like a billion albums that they've printed over the years. Everything's categorized. My mom is very organized. So she categorizes them. Every album has like either a date or a name or something of what it is. And so I don't know exactly the first memory I ever had, but my dad definitely has influenced me a lot. Just because we've had cameras in our faces all throughout our lives, which I really appreciate because we can go back and look at it. So I remember like one moment where we first had our digital camera. I think our first one was this like huge, chunky, really heavy thing with like a little screen. And the actual camera you can actually flip. So that was the most exciting thing ever because it was like, wow, you can actually see it right away, like on this little screen. And the fact that you can flip it, it was so exciting because you could see yourself. So that was one of my first like moments that was so fun because it's like, wow, this is so new. Like I've never seen anything like this before. That's like one of my favorite memories of me and my family because we had so much fun just like shooting selfies of ourselves as a family, us four fitting into this little screen.
Yeah, no,
Nice.
I mean, I think we really appreciate your dad's passion for
Yeah.
photography as
Yeah.
well, just because we're gonna come over one day and look at little Pauline.
All the
Yes.
photos. Let's check out all the photos. So, where does your love of photography come from?
Probably, as we talked about, definitely my dad.
Mhm.
Kind of similar to you both. It kind of started with just like wanting to capture all your travels, right? Who doesn't want to go
Yeah.
back and see photos of their travels? And again, there's actually albums of my parents when they were traveling all over the place. And my dad as well. He used to go on business trips everywhere, and there's photos of him like in many places. So like growing up, looking at that was really exciting. And whenever we went on trips, we would always take photos. And so I think that definitely helped build my love for photography. And when I got my first like digital camera, I think it was in high school maybe, but even in elementary school, we would always take photos. But in high school, I think I had my own. It was like officially mine. And I would bring it everywhere. Like every time I hung out with friends, we would just, so like, it's terrible now to think about, but
Yeah.
we would just take photos of us doing really silly, stupid
Yeah.
things. But it was just so exciting to be able to capture
Mhm.
that. And obviously back then, cell phones were not very good, so the digital
Yeah.
camera was the only thing you could use.
Yeah. Like the little point and shoots
Yeah, with the
that you
flash, the
bring.
terrible
Yeah.
flash.
Yeah. Yep.
Which is funny because now it's like it's really coming back. People like want that
Yeah.
look again. So
Yeah.
it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I was gonna go back just to kind of just in case. I know we have a lot of people listening that are, who knows Pauline personally or worked with Pauline. Like it's more than a half of our listeners. But
Shout out to you
any
guys.
in case people who don't know Pauline, so where are you based and what kind of photography do you do?
So I'm based in Vancouver in BC, in Canada, for those who don't know. There's a Vancouver, Washington, so there you go. Photography I specialize in is small intimate weddings, elopements, and couple portraits. It's quite
Okay.
specialized. I've kind of narrowed it down.
Do you have you done any other type of photography before?
Fun fact, I was in the yearbook class in high school. So I enjoyed
Wow.
going out and capturing for the yearbook. I really went to a lot of things. I would go to a lot of events. I went to a lot of sporting games. Maybe that's where my love for sports came from. Never played, but just was on the sidelines taking photos apparently. And like school dances, I would go and take photos. High school activities I would like sign up and take photos for, because I just really enjoyed it. And I guess another reason why I joined yearbook was because of that part, photography. And growing up, I actually wanted to be kind of a graphic designer or like something to do in like magazine world. That's what I really enjoyed. So yeah.
When did you start your photography business and why?
That's an interesting question, because I didn't actually, don't
And
tell the
why?
government, but I didn't sign up as a business until last year, just because I don't know, it was more for fun.
Yeah.
I did it as a hobby. It was just something creative on the side that I really enjoyed. So I didn't really take it that seriously. It was just for fun until I guess last year. I'm like, okay, it's time, I think, to register my business and kind of put myself more out there.
What's like the progression of, you said you started taking photos in the school, yearbook photos and sports, and then what else? And then how did you transition from there to doing portraits and couples?
Yeah, so in yearbook, obviously we took a lot of photos of people. And then in grade 12, I actually joined photography class. So there was actually a class that we had at our school, which was really cool. But most of it was actually film photography. So we learned to develop photos in the darkroom. We actually had a darkroom at our school, which was really cool also.
Nice.
So it was definitely an experience. Very hard.
Was it like a specialized school for like a
Wow.
arts and that sort of things?
That's amazing.
I don't think so, but our school really had courses for like all the arts. So drama class.
Okay.
A lot of people were really into theater, so there were like plays and stuff happening all the time. So I would say a mixture of everything, but yeah, we were lucky we had a dark room. And then from there, I think I started in university. I did a little bit of traveling, and so I think it was my third year where I went to New Zealand by myself. And my dad gifted me with my first camera. I had a Nikon D5100. On that trip, I just went crazy. Like all the photos were nature photography, landscape photography, and just like lifestyle. So I think from there, that's how I kind of got into it. And to relate back to John's Q&A, I also have been skydiving.
Really?
Oh,
I've been twice.
nice.
Wow.
Nice. Where at?
Well, the first time was in New Zealand, of course. You can't beat
must be
that.
amazing. No,
Yeah, it was incredible.
it must be amazing.
Yeah.
So
A lot.
going back to that, so you started traveling, taking photos, and then what happened?
You just want my life story.
Yeah, we
He's gonna
want
be
like
here
every
forever,
little moment
all
of Pauline.
night. Oh my goodness. A lot has happened. But in terms of photography, I think I mentioned before in previous episodes, my friend who I worked with, he was doing weddings. And so that kind of was my door into the industry. And since then, it's just been a huge learning curve, but also it's been really fun. Very different, as you guys know, taking landscapes versus weddings and people and once in a lifetime moments. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
So we did talk about this, what type of photography you specialize in and why, right?
I mean, I could elaborate.
Okay.
So the reason I kind of specialize more now on small intimate weddings and elopements versus traditional bigger weddings is because not that I don't enjoy them, it's just I think moving forward is not necessarily what aligns with me personally. I still enjoyed shooting it, but I probably wouldn't lead them just because they are a lot more stressful, a lot more things to consider. And I personally like the smaller intimate weddings just because I enjoy the personal intimacy with less people and less guests. And I also like helping the couples plan as well. So that's why I like elopements. So it was kind of like a light bulb moment. It's like, wow, okay, I think elopements and small intimate weddings is for me because I enjoy helping the couples plan a little bit more. So I think that's the reason why.
If you can give one tip to couples planning a wedding, what would it be?
There's so many things I could say, but I think the number one tip I would give to couples planning, not necessarily wedding, but just any type of event, is that the event at the end of the day is for you, especially a wedding. If it's a couple getting married, this event, this special moment is for the couple and the couple itself. There are a lot of opinions and a lot of traditions in everyone's culture, but at the end of the day, if it doesn't align with you as a person, in your relationship, as a couple, then don't do it. Say no.
Right.
And just,
And
yeah.
we've probably seen a lot of those examples where, married couple giving advice doesn't always mean they're expert.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. But I understand, like, there's traditionally and culturally, there are a lot of things that should be done and that are expected. But again, I think it's just to be clear with, the people around you, making it clear to them that this is your day and not theirs.
Yeah.
I actually was chatting with some friends and they are planning a wedding right now. And she was saying that her parents want to have tea ceremony and a banquet, but mostly it's for the parents and their friends and their coworkers and their family. And so she said to them, if you want that, sure, we'll come. We'll be there, but you have to plan it. You have to pay for it because this is not for us, it's for you. So I
Yeah.
love that. If anyone is planning anything, like, really take that to heart, because
Mhm.
that, again, it's your day. If it doesn't really speak to you, then your family member or friend can deal with it and plan something on
Mhm.
their own, and you'll just attend and be there.
Yeah.
So
As someone who do like more intimate weddings and sort of like adventure elopements and things like that, how do you feel about asking couples to do like two different types of weddings? Maybe like elope, like adventure elopement, and then do one like a more traditional kind of style, with the families.
at the end of the day, it's what they feel is best, and that will represent their relationship. Some people really enjoy having all their friends and all their family there, but going back to why you're getting married, and people who are attending and that are witnessing it, they're there not just because they've known you for your whole life, but they're attending and choosing to be there is because they want to support you, your relationship, and the future of your relationship, and not just because they have to. So that's why I really recommend them thinking who you're choosing to invite. Why? Like, what is the reason? Are they there to make it even more memorable, or are they going to make it more stressful for you? Because if it's more stressful, maybe think about it again and really consider if it's worth it. And especially if it's not, then maybe consider having just like the ceremony or the vow exchange just between you and your partner, and then whoever else you think will make it like heighten that experience for you instead of inhibit it. And if you really need to cater to family and friends, then then maybe have like a second kind of event to celebrate.
Shall we go a little bit off the photography side of things and go a little bit more personal side of Pauline?
Yeah.
No, we're gonna still, I guess, still kind of stick around on the job side of things. So probably a lot of people know that Pauline is not a full-time photographer. So please let us tell us on the who, what the other job is, or like how much you work, and how do you balance it with the photography side of things.
Once I graduated university, I actually had 3 jobs. One actually was a full-time, one was just on the weekends, and one was just for a few hours, but every day from Monday to Friday. I was just taking care of some kids. So from there, I think that's kind of how I don't know, just how I persevered and how I continued on, because I always had different jobs after
How
that.
many hours was that per week?
Probably 60. I don't know how I did it,
Work
honestly. I had no
worked
social
hard.
life. I think that year I lost all my friends. But it was, I actually met a lot of friends at my job. So I'm not yeah, I'm not complaining. It was a lot of fun. I guess fast forward to now, I actually work at the University of British Columbia as a food and nutrition coordinator. So I study nutrition, and so that's kind of what I'm doing. I think me as a person, I can't do the same thing every day. I can't have an office job and not have something else because I think I'd be very depressed. I need, like, kind of like you, John, I need a creative outlet.
Mm.
I need to change it up.
I guess when you have like another job plus photography, and like a photography job itself is a very creative job.
Mm,
And do you ever kind of think about maybe incorporating those two jobs together? I mean,
probably at some point.
yeah.
But I think the reason I didn't go right into full-time photography is because it's always been a hobby for me, and kind of similar to John, it wasn't for money. It was just because I enjoyed it. And so I didn't jump in. I still haven't jumped in right away because I don't want to start, hating it. I don't want it to feel like a job, which I don't think it will, but I was just not there yet to make that jump to full time. And I don't know if I ever will, which is fine.
Yeah, I mean, it does professional photography doesn't always have to be the end goal, and I think that's why this podcast is so unique and so
Mm.
helpful probably to a lot of people, because it's not only run by professional full-time photographers. It's run by a lot of people who can relate. So I
Yeah.
think that's why I think this is a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
Obviously you have a way of dealing with multiple jobs and doing working 60 hours a week and all that. Do you have any tip or technique that some people may benefit from?
I mean, I would first say it's definitely not for everybody, but in terms of tips, I would say kind of listen to your body. You'll know yourself. If you need sleep, Eugene, then
Hmm.
that's a good way to tell.
Don't
Um,
fight it.
it's about listening to your body. If you need to sleep, Eugene, then
Sleep.
listen to it and sleep. Like, you need to look at what your priorities are and what you can maybe delay or postpone a little bit. And if you can, listen to what's right for you. If you feel like you can hustle a little bit longer and not sleep, then do it. But if your gut tells you you need to rest, then also listen to that. And don't forget to really take time for yourself as well. Self-care is important. Mental health for yourself. Really
Yeah.
look for outlets for that because that's so important.
That's the thing. Like, I don't think I'm pretty similar to you. Like, I get pretty driven by what I'm doing and just get really passionate and you
Yeah.
know, so it's kind of difficult. I don't think I ever really knew how to do that, like
Mm,
self-caring and like I could go without sleeping and still get a lot of things done, and
yeah.
I still enjoy it. And
Mm.
I feel like when I do sleep, it feels like a waste of time. Um, so
I
we'll
get
see.
that. But our bodies are really intelligent. They're very smart at adapting, especially if this is for long term. Your body will show it eventually if you are in need of rest. But I always say, like, prevention is probably the best. If you're feeling great now, great, but keep it that way. You want to make sure to take care of yourself now before something happens.
Aside from like having multiple jobs, you also have to, I know things, we're doing things that make us happy. Like, for example, I love mountain biking, or for you, Pauline,
Hmm.
you like hiking.
Yeah.
So you also have to, I guess a lot of time for that. Your different hobbies, the things that make you healthy.
So yeah, funny you say that. I not only do I like hiking, I just like walking in general. I love walking everywhere. So there were times in my life where I would walk to work and it would take me an hour to walk. But
Wow.
that was my time for myself. My
Yeah.
time just to be alone, to listen to music, to kind of just watch the world go by and be in my own space while I walked. So finding time in your day where you can kind of incorporate something for yourself with something else though. Yeah.
Is Vancouver pretty walk friendly? Is that the right word? Yeah.
I guess it depends where you are, but for the most part, yeah. Although
Okay.
now it is a little bit more dangerous, I'd say.
Mm.
So, like in the past, not saying I don't feel safe, but in the past, I would feel perfectly comfortable listening to music, have both ears plugged, but maybe now I probably wouldn't just because, yeah. I don't know if you guys have those like electric scooters there
Oh yeah.
where they're very quiet and they go super fast. And there's been times where they creep up behind you and it's kind of scary. So, especially since you can't even hear them. So now I probably wouldn't even listen to music. I think it's just another way to enjoy like nature is not to have music plugged in, but yeah. Yeah. So Vancouver walkable for sure, but just
Yeah.
depending on where you
No,
are.
it's just because like when I was in the UK, I mean I had a driver's license, but I never had a car just because I walked everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like it's better to just walk to places than take a bus or taking a
Yeah.
tube, all that kind of stuff. But here, I feel like no one really walks. They will look at you weirdly if you do walk. So
Really?
No, because America's made that way. The infrastructure is not really set for public transportation. And one of the things that I complain about.
Right.
If I had the choice, like when I first moved, I wouldn't get a car. But here
I
we
mean, a
are.
lot of people here don't have cars.
Yeah. Because I guess you guys have the infrastructure, like,
Yeah, and like there's a lot of streets that have bike lanes, so cyclists are very happy about that, but drivers are not very happy about that. So I know a lot of people cycle to work, so it's it's a very healthy city here. Yeah,
that's good.
all right. So beside walking, what other activity do you like to do?
Oh, that's a good question. What do I
Do you
even do?
do you dance at home or
Well, another fun fact, I did take dance when I was younger.
okay?
So that
What
was,
kind?
I guess, an extracurricular activity, mainly hip hop. But I did
I did
other
not
things.
expect that.
Really? You thought
I did
what?
not. I was thinking of
What kind
something,
of dancing did you expect then?
like
Yeah.
contemporary, like
Oh.
like ballet or like something.
I mean, I've taken
That was
ballet, I've taken jazz, I've taken a bunch of stuff, but yeah, that was my main
very
thing.
okay. Interesting. That is a fun fact.
Yes.
Pauline
So many
definitely
fun
has
facts.
Pauline definitely has tried a lot of different things.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I like, even though, sometimes it can be scary to try new things, but I mean, now I feel like I'm not as big of a risk taker, but I want to go back to that. I want to be unafraid to try new things and not embarrass myself, like playing soccer.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean we all know Pauline loves soccer. How many games did you watch during the World Cup?
Well, I don't know. Definitely not the early ones, but the 11 o'clock for sure. If I wasn't at work. Or maybe I was watching at work.
Remind me, what time was the early one? Like, was it 2 o'clock,
2
3 o'clock?
a.m. Yeah. I didn't
Yeah,
watch those ones. No.
yeah, no, me neither.
No, that's way too early. Any more
Yeah,
questions?
yeah. So let's I guess go over to sort of more adventure side of things. So obviously, I think that's a common thing for all three of us. We do love travels, and we do love to adventure out to different places. Where would you say would be like sort of like your ideal let's say elopement, like near where you live and
Near.
somewhere
How near?
some
What's near?
like in BC
Okay.
and somewhere like really far away. You can pick wherever, like it can be Europe, it can be Asia or anywhere. So if you could go anywhere to like photograph an elopement, where would that be?
Okay, so near, there's this one hike that is very long. Most people do in 2 days, but some people do in one day. But it would take you literally the whole day. And it's called Panorama Ridge. And basically, when you're up on the mountain, you see this huge lake that is aqua blue. So I've done it once, but when I went, we had a wildfire a few days
Okay.
before. And so, or maybe a week before, and it was still very smoky. So the view was blocked by the smoke. So I need to go back, first of all. And second, it'd be amazing to do an elopement there. But it's gonna be very hard because it's a long hike. And I would recommend camping there the night before as well. But that's
And
the
is
local
that
one.
the only access on foot?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
Wow.
And then your other part of the question, anywhere, you know what? There's so many places, but I
Mm.
really want to keep it close to home. I think the recent past like few years, I really wanted to travel more within Canada, and because there's so many places in Canada that I haven't seen. I haven't. There's so many places. It's huge. Canada's huge. And so I don't think enough people kind of venture out and explore our own country.
And honestly, like
So,
compared to the US, I feel like Canada has more more of nature than the city.
yes, yeah.
Whereas in the US is completely, I mean, I guess land math wise, there could be more, but there's definitely a
Mhm.
lot of people live in so many different cities. So,
Yeah. But in Canada, everything's more remote. So it is harder
mm.
to get to if you really wanted to get there. But a few years ago, I went to the Yukon. And so that was probably one of my best trips ever. Even better than Iceland, I would say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Just because
Wow.
I don't know, if you've known me and you've kind of heard me talk, you know that I really like cold places for some reason. I'm always drawn to the cooler, colder places, even
But
though
you
I
don't
don't,
like cold.
yeah, I don't like being cold, but I like going to cold places. I don't know. I think it's the snow. I think it's just anywhere with mountains and trees I really enjoy. And so the Yukon, I went in February, so it's basically winter, and it was amazing. It's nothing I've ever seen before. It would be amazing to do an elopement there, or even in Alaska. I actually one day we did a day trip to Alaska, and that was incredible also. So
I think what it is about cold weather is that when you go to cold weather, it feels like air is just so much cleaner.
mm.
And it feels like like your entirely like inside of your body gets just cleaned out. Like your
Yeah,
lung gets
I
just
feel you.
cleaned
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'm not a big fan of cold either, but I do love when it's like snowing and when it's like super cold and when you just take that first breathe in, it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I'm pretty bad with the cold too, but
I feel like if you're prepared for it and you're dressed for it,
yeah,
then it shouldn't be a problem.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't
I'm
like the
I'm
cold, but
learning. I'm learning how to dress up
Past
for the
past
cold.
few past few trips, I've been doing the opposite. So when I met you guys,
yeah.
someone told me in Banff in September it's gonna be super cold. So I got all the layers ready, like all my base layers ready, and I was so hot. And happened same again 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago in Yosemite. I planned too much and I was hot, and I was like almost sweating. Uh,
Wow.
um,
Maybe
so
you're just
yeah,
used to it now.
yeah, I don't know.
No, it
Or
was. I think the activity that we were doing, it was pretty. It was pretty high paced. I think. Yeah, we were moving a lot because I was cold as well, and then when we started shooting, the bundles got taken off. So I think yeah, it's the activity that we're doing.
yeah, kind of relating back to, sorry, going back to John's Q&A when you said you want to focus on destination weddings. It's
Mm,
funny because that's the opposite of me. I don't, not that I don't want to do it, but I really want to highlight my own country and my own province.
mm,
There's so
mm,
many places within here that people have not seen. Yeah, I'm the opposite. I don't necessarily
mm,
want to do destination, but I want to do more closer local
mm,
within Canada at least.
Do you think there could be more like because I mean we know that you're from Hong Kong, but at the
Mm,
same time you are pretty much that's where you live the most. I mean that where you feel like that's your home, right? Whereas I think John and I are, you know,
mm,
it's more of a temporary place, I feel like.
right. Yeah.
Even if we do stay here a longer period of time,
Mm,
I think the home was somewhere else.
yeah.
good
Um,
point. Yeah.
so I don't know if that has got to do something to do with it. But
It's
yeah.
funny because growing up, I always thought I would leave for
Mhm.
university. I thought I would go somewhere else, but somehow I'm still here. Even though I'm not really a city person. Even Vancouver is a little bit too busy for me, but I'm
Mhm.
still here. And yeah, what you said, it's true. It's home for me. So
Do you live pretty like essentially in the city, or like are you like a little bit outside?
well, Vancouver is it's not really that big, but I do live in Vancouver.
Okay.
Not like downtown city center, but in Vancouver itself. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, we need to come and see Vancouver sometime.
Yes. Come. You're welcome to come anytime.
Okay.
Oh,
So
well.
now I think probably all the listeners know that if Pauline's not photographing, if Pauline's not working at the university, um she's probably not doing anything else. Are you doing
Oh
anything
yeah,
else?
I never answered that question. I don't have a life, okay? That's all I do. Um, oh, I don't know. I just like going outside. I just like being outside. Even if it's raining, I don't mind. One story my mom always told me when I was little was when it was raining one day and my mom was like, "Oh, it's raining. You should go inside." And my answer was, but it's just water. It'll dry. I'll dry. So that was my answer when I was really little, and I think it still is true because I really like being outside, even if it's raining. I love the snow. So yeah, anywhere outside, you'll find me in the cold, shivering maybe.
You ski, right? Or no, you snowboard. You
Yeah,
snowboard.
so my parents luckily put me in ski lessons when I was really young. So I do know how to ski, but I haven't skied in a long time. And in high school I started snowboarding, not very good at it, but yeah,
Okay.
Have you been this year
no.
or this winter?
Not
Mm-mm.
yet.
Mm.
No, I mean it's pretty early. You can still go. It's
Mhm.
only January.
When do
And
you when does snow disappear in like in the up in the mountains? Never.
Sometimes never. I think I went hiking in the summer and there was still snow, like at the very top. But
mm,
yeah, yeah, sometimes never. But I guess now with climate change, it could
because
change now. Yeah.
for you go do you go to Whistler for snowboarding or skiing?
I used to go, but it's really busy, honestly.
Mm,
And there
well,
are very like quite local ski hills that are quite close that are
closer
really good too. So
closer
yeah,
in Vancouver.
yeah. There's like three actually.
Mm,
Yeah.
You know, there's a ski resort in Vegas.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
What?
yeah. It's
You can come to Vegas. Apparently there was an avalanche last yesterday,
Oh,
no
wow.
way.
and yeah, and someone actually died.
Wow.
Um,
No,
That's sad.
yeah,
really?
yeah.
I did not know this.
Mm. So yeah, we I don't know if it's every year, but we do get some snow.
Yeah, we do get some. It's an okay ski resort.
I think Whistler probably has better snow.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Except during the Winter Olympics here in 2010, we had like no snow. So they had to import snow from elsewhere because that
Ah,
year there was nothing and it was
Wow.
so sad. So yeah, it really
Interesting.
depends year to year. Yeah. Okay, we're dragging this on. Thanks.
yeah.
Okay.
Um,
It's
I think I asked all the questions that I needed to ask, Pauline, but
Thank you.
yeah, covered all the bases.
all right. To wrap things up, uh, I hope everybody enjoyed this episode. I hope everybody learned more about Pauline. For our next episode, we are going to talk about second shooting or second shooters, everything about second shooting.
Second
Yeah.
shooting 101.
Yeah. Second shooting 101.
Mhm.
So that's going to be, it's going to be fun.
The John's expertise,
No, I'm
and
not. I'm still learning.
for me to learn.
Yeah. No, it's for me to learn
Well, I've never
to
done a
get better
second
at
shoot,
second shooting. I
Mm.
so
guess it's gonna
I
be
need to learn.
for everyone, every photographer that's been doing second shooting. So yeah, it's gonna be an informative episode. So
Yeah, and I think I'll talk a little bit about, what I kind of look into when I do hire a second photographer as well. So that could be an insight for some of the newly people who are trying to be a second photographer.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Cool. Excited for that.
okay.
where can people find us, John?
Okay, so if you guys wanna follow us on Facebook, it is the Pedge Pod, and also on Instagram, the same thing, the Pedge Pod. And we have a link tree over there. You can click that, and you can find the links to our to all the listening platforms. We are on Spotify, YouTube. What else, Eugene?
Google, Apple Podcasts, Castbox.
Yeah, literally everywhere. So
And
listen to us.
people can watch us on Spotify and YouTube.
Yeah. So if you guys just wanna, if you have nothing better to do, you're driving, to work, or just having coffee, just listen to us while editing.
Or if you're walking to work.
Yeah, walking to work, you're editing. Yeah, just listen to us. It's
How about skydiving?
yeah, you can. Or if you're working out.
Do people skydive with music?
Yeah, I don't think so. They're wearing
Imagine skydiving.
earplugs.
Okay, I'm gonna put a podcast on now. I think our podcast is too mellow for me.
Yeah, it's too calm for that. It's too much adrenaline.
Well,
when you're
maybe
jumping.
not. Who knows? Maybe
Do we need to shout then?
Maybe. No, but yeah, if yeah, just put us on the background. Listen, it's fun.
Okay.
All right.
We'll see you guys all next week then.
See you on the next episode.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.